It's Easter, a day of Jesus Christ.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
Welcome to the MC Too Tall Show. I am your host, MC Too Tall, the most efficient living human being at violence, profanity, and premarital sex. Okay, with that said, happy Easter, everyone, and happy 420. And for those of you who believe Hitler's still alive, give him a call over in Argentina and wish him a happy birthday. Now, it's pretty ironic. 420. This is it's a day that you commemorate smoking pot, which of course is the time, 4:20 p.m., embodied in an entire day, April 20th. And it also happens to be the birthday of the world's most famous Nazi leader, Adolf Hitler. People tend to forget that, and he also smoked, or I think he mixed his meth with his coffee, but he was a major meth head, and so was the army. As Cat Williams said, just give them a bunch of artillery and teeth to scratch, and they're good to go there. But this is not really their day. It's not even the day for the pot smoker. This is the day to commemorate the rebirth of God's only begotten Son, Lord and Messiah, Jesus Christ. The Pharisees tried so hard to debunk Jesus Christ. They tried so hard to make him out to be some kind of a fraud. They persecuted him. And they persecuted him all the way up until his dying day, even instigating his death. Now, these were the religious leaders of the time who hid behind religion as their grift. Because, behind every government there's a priesthood. And so, while the Romans practiced paganism, they allowed their commonwealth of Israel to continue to practice Judaism, and some of the religious leaders infiltrated the faith. They infiltrated the organized portion of the religion. And when Jesus Christ rose to prominence on earth and called them out on their hypocrisy, They were afraid they'd lose their grift. Kind of like how Iona Presley, Maxine Waters, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, and all of them, Jamie Raskin, they're kind of all worried about what Elon Musk and Doge are doing. But this is of course, on a grander scale. This isn't for taxpayers' money. This was for the very souls of the righteous. And the Pharisees did not look at the bigger picture. They were thinking of money. The money they made in charities so they could say a bunch of profound things and collect money from their parishioners and their attendees. And when Jesus Christ was turning that whole system on its head, the Pharisees complained to the Romans. They complained to Augustus Caesar until Augustus Caesar sent Pontius Pilate out to see what's going on. And Pontius Pilate was a politician. He's like, give the people what they want. That was his attitude. And he was going to literally wash his hands of the situation and put the decision into the people who have wiggled themselves into representation of the Jewish people. And of course, this wasn't how all Jews thought of Jesus Christ. A lot of the Jews were following Jesus Christ. But the Pharisees, the people who appointed themselves as leader of the Jewish community, they were the ones who instigated the crucifixion of Christ. So to say the Jews did this, no, these people that were falsely posing as Jewish leaders were the ones who instigated it. Kind of like George Soros. You don't pick on a bunch of random Jewish people at your local synagogue just because George Soros is funding all these communist movements like Black Lives Matter. You go after George Soros and these George Soros-funded DAs, and you wall out anybody who is funded by George Soros. That's how you handle it. You don't go attacking some random Jewish family on their way to the synagogue. That's stupid. And so, anyway, they instigated this. And what happened was, of course, the Roman soldiers whipped Jesus Christ. They nailed him to the cross, hoisted him up. And some of the Pharisees were instigating. One of them goes, if he's really the Son of God, he'll come down from the cross, and all this mockery. And they basically made the Christ the martyr of martyrs in that regard. And you hear about human beings when they're killed. Like when I speak of the late great William Cooper, many of the liberals, even though William Cooper had also spoken against Republican leaders, many of the liberals, not the Republican supporters, but the liberals would say, good riddance to bad rubbish. This guy died violently in a hail of bullets. Okay, this man was riddled with bullets. So they shot out his larynx. They managed to get a bullet in his mouth and shoot off his tongue. Okay? He was unable to ever speak again. He's on his knees looking up at one of these deputy sheriffs who walks right up to him, puts the pistol right to his forehead, and pulls the trigger. This was a blatant assassination, a bloody, violent death, blood atonement as could only be done in these fraternal cults that love spilling blood of their enemies. And people who don't understand say good riddance to bad rubbish. Either they don't understand or they're actually working for the Illuminati. And the ones that are blatantly against you saying that there's an Illuminati and to watch out for the Illuminati and will step in and try to debunk you and play live fact checker every time you post something about the Illuminati and claim that there is no Illuminati. You want to really piss them off? Delete their comment that counteracts your statements about the Illuminati. That's how you piss them off. But anyway, over the years, John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, of course, Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton got suckered into a beef with Aaron Burr, but was it really the beef with Aaron Burr that caused that duel that led to Alexander Hamilton's death? Or was it something bigger? Maybe Aaron Burr was put on a mission to lure Alexander Hamilton into that duel for reasons having nothing to do with the surface reasons. You know, it's kind of like I could picture me saying something that's offensive to some rapper on the internet, and they'll make it out to be that my inevitable upcoming death will be caused by, some rapper beef or some internet beef with some rapper guy. Don't you believe that, okay? If I ever, I hope never to die at the hands of another human being, but if that should come and they tell you it's some internet beef with some other goofy ass white rapper dude, don't you believe it. If my life is ever taken by the hand of another human being, that human being will have been working for the Illuminati. And hopefully I'll be here for many, many years and it won't come to that. But just in case, remember, if my life should be taken, it'll be the hand of someone working for the Illuminati. And, yeah. Satan poisoned the minds of the Pharisees with greed. And Jesus Christ stood in the way of their greed. They instigated his death. Christ was crucified. And 3 days later, he rose again. And we're not talking about a ghost. We're talking about the physical being of Jesus Christ. He rose again. And he had the scars to prove it. In his hands, in his sides, where the Roman legionnaire stabbed him. And that's what happened. He rose again, and there were 5,000 people who witnessed him alive and well. So, unlike a certain other book that came after Christianity, whose author places himself and Jesus Christ as equals, the difference is that book whose author places himself and Jesus Christ equally as prophets. Unlike what that book suggests, Jesus Christ differs, for he is the Lord, Messiah, and Son of God, who God had risen from the dead. And that's what we commemorate on Easter. And now, reason for animal symbols. Well, life comes from fertility. So a rabbit is a symbol of fertility. Eggs, another symbol of fertility. So that's how the rabbit and the eggs come about. Bright colors, of course, for spring, but of course also for bringing in light. So it ties in secular folklore, some of these ancient pagan beliefs, and true to life factual Christianity. It all ties in. It's all symbolic, and a lot of these stories that seem similar in nature were merely prophecy that got squelched by frequencies, because Satan controls the airwaves, as we're told. So the message of prophecy often would get squelched by the evil spirits of the airwaves. But this message was so powerful that we would still get drips and drabs of it before the prophecy became fulfilled and came into fruition. And that's the only way to explain it. This isn't like some opinion. It's like a very valid and plausible theory. And that's why I believe it. And the whole thing with Jesus Christ being dark-skinned, perhaps he may have been of the race of traditionally dark-skinned people, but perhaps his physical complexion was lighter. And I've met light-skinned Arabic people. They exist. So it's not impossible. And so when you say, "Oh, I'm not saying that Jesus Christ is of the same racial makeup as Lyndon Baines Johnson or George Wallace or David Duke. I'm saying that the physical shade of complexion might be lighter. He might have been a lighter complected Middle Eastern. That's all I'm saying. And so, with that said, that brings out the possibility of people scrutinizing whether or not Mary birthed the Son of God, or the son of a mortal man other than Joseph. I mean, there's another possibility why they went to Egypt for a minute and came back. They actually went to Egypt and came back to fill their census, because the census isn't just a thing that exists in the United States. Even as far back as then, heads were counted for the census in the times of Jesus of Nazareth. And I said a lot of profound things that I hope you take into your heart and mind and think about. I hope I've said things that help you form an opinion, and hope that you can come up with your own profound conclusions on the accounts of our Lord and Messiah and God's only begotten Son, Jesus Christ. And with that said, this concludes this episode of the MC Too Tall Show, special Easter edition. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Follow and share my content. Subscribe. Like this video. Tell all your friends about me. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building. Hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero, MC Too Tall. Happy Easter and God bless.